Hi guys, in the name of Christ, how you doing? It's your girl Crankcake Garabo. I hope you're good, I hope you're peachy, I hope you're Stella, and I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, it's a party. Welcome to it. I'm in that party. Anyway, whatever, look, it's Sunday. Okay, Sunday the 10th of December 2023, and it's a rainy day, but thankfully it's just drizzling, so it's not all like loud on the roof. Not really sure if this rain is gonna continue for another day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, we get it. So let's just hope not, right? Because exercise helps me get through the day. But today's Sunday, so we don't work out. However, this is the kind of drizzle that threatens you for a week, you know what I mean? I ate a whole bunch of almonds, so somebody gotta work that off. Okay. I hope they go to my hair and not my hips. Anyway, cool. You guys know that I have a head scratcher. It's a needle. Look. It's like the salvation of the wealthy. Like a camel. It's easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Enter there, you guys. I dare you. Not that there's any rich people listening to me, but they're rich in their own devices. Anyway, let me just put some caveats out there. Computer, don't do that to me, please. We know that I'm at the end of myself, but not right now. This is just not that day. It's just not that day. What do you guys think? Except it doesn't really matter. Listen, you guys. Life's hard. Let me just put some caveats out there. Maybe I should just restart my computer. What do you think? It doesn't really matter. This has to be on the right side. Guys, remember I told you guys that my, what do you call these things? My nape was like not growing. It was giving me grief because there's always a dug on my nape. Well, I've commenced a journey to bring the nape back. It's like the witchcraft that men do when you dump them. Bring back lost lover. But instead of lost lover, I'm out here bringing back lost nape. Lost kitchen. Bring back lost kitchen. But we don't do witchcraft, we just do fenugreek. We don't do witchcraft, we do moringa. We don't do witchcraft, we do cloves. We do hibiscus. We do almonds, like I ate today. We do dill. We do coriander and oregano. We do star anise, you guys. So one of these days, star anise is gonna bring back lost nape, and then you guys are gonna realize that really the whole witchcraft thing is overrated. Stop doing it. Maybe you need to make like Boys to Men and just go down on bended knees until you come back to me. I'm down on bended knees. Instead of in front of a sangoma on bended knees grunting uyavuma, bring back lost lover. Oh guys, whatever happened to just darling I can't explain. Where did we lose our way? Girl, it's driving me insane, and I know I just need one more chance to prove my love to you. If you come back to me, I'll guarantee that I'll never let you go. That's why I dance to old school music. People still like they got that like proper reverse psychology is not okay. It doesn't work. Because then you just lose the chick anyway, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna pass her shade hoping she's gonna call you the chick is gone, like bye-bye, like a bird, she's flying. Nah, but the Boys to Men will explain to you that it's a darling I can't explain. Where did we lose our way? Girl, it's driving me insane, and I know I just need one more chance to prove my love to you. If you come back to me, I'll guarantee that I'll never let you go. Can we go back to the days our love was strong? Can you tell me how our perfect love goes wrong? And can somebody tell me things back the way they used to be. Oh God, give me a reason. I'm down on bended knees. Oh, baby. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned begging a girl to get back with you? These days, nyavuma. For what? But she doesn't vuma. Nyavuma. For indoda yami. Why? Whatever happened to just, pleading your case, trusting in people's magnanimity, trusting that people are just gonna be like, if only I gave you one last chance with Lord Satani wako. Okuvimbe to a point where you treat me like trash. You can never again roll. You got to be faithful so we could be truthful. Build a family and follow God's destiny. And just before onto the plow, Papi, would you listen to my soul before you walk out the door? They say two wrongs won't make it right. Stop with the sorcery. Whatever happened to love? Whatever happened to trusting that you can petition for your cause? Whatever happened to talking about it? Whatever happened to ironing things out? Whatever happened to calling again and again and again and again? Yeah, until she answers. Whatever happened to buying the flowers again and again? This time they expect you to go to them, 'cause you're Lord by Satan, because a demon is chilling on your nose, so you gon' be like, oh, my temper, my love, temper, my darling, you temper. I hunger for your touch, temper. Along temper, lonely time, temper. Only because you know the local sangoma from Pimville best, and so because of time that's gone by, temper. Oh, temper, womanizer, so slowly. Now all of a sudden I have this urge to call you temper. 'Cause you know how to lawyer so much. Oh, temper, could you not just temper call me up? Temper and tell me you need my love. Oh, temper, womanizer, daughter boy. Oh, temper, maybe I might actually listen to you if you sobered up and stop giving me reverse psychology, but instead, you spared my love with Begaminuk Pela. Begaminak Pele. Oh, just like it. Whatever happened to just talking to a girl? If only you just spoke, the Lord gave you mouthpiece. Jesus gave you a mouth, didn't he? He gave you these vocal cords. That you can go and serenade one about Tukayona. We get to like Velapi, take me in your arms. I promise to be true. Never again will I act like a fool. Oh, Caroline, you are my love. I see it now. I see it now. I was a fool. But Caroline, you don't wanna be mine. Oh, it breaketh me inside, Caroline.
But if you will listen to me just one more time, Caroline, guess who's coming to dinner? Carolina. Carolina, come fun, take it out. Hey, y'all know, we're done. I'm sorry, no. South Africa, world, earth, planet, whatever, we're done. We're not doing it. Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. Giggling. That you put your car key in and you're like, Javon, that's witchcraft. It ain't never gonna start. Yes, like it. Just cause you dumpile a guy. No more long love letters. I want me a love letter. I asked Jesus for a love letter. I want the guy to beg. Yeah, I want the bugaboo to grovel at my feet. But he don't wanna, even though he messed up. He wants me groveling at his feet cause he knows Javon. Yo, hi, Go with your sorcery, I'm sorry. Hide it, go on, do you. Live on this planet where everybody's pulling each other. Kadinko, with noses and everything, using witchcraft, causing people to act out of character. You're causing such a mess, it's cantankerous, it's chaotic. I'm good. Nobody is going to call me back. Nah. Memoya. I am abused right now like no man's business by some animal in America. What's going on with my phone? It's giving me a speech lag. What's up? Cheers. It's not hot, but we're gonna get to that just now. That whole issue with the phone. Some little beast in America that I can't stand. I hate him. Like, as in, I'm not gonna lie and talk about how it is that I'm such a Christian girl. And, you know, like, I just love and happiness. On my enemy, I just love them so much. I can't stand him. I count him my enemy. My enemy. Hate him with perfect hatred. And do you want to know what has made me hate this guy? It's not that he's a witch. It's not that I busted him for sorcery. It's not that he's a little mampo tokesi. My aunt used to scare us with like an urban legend myth of a gorilla thing in the nearby lake when I was growing up. To make sure that we're back home on time, she used to say that we must be back home, otherwise we're gonna get busted or caught in the street by Mampo Tokesi that likes to eat little children when they're outside after 4 p.m. Man, how it worked. Anyway, it's not that this guy was Mampo Tokesi all up in my world that made me hate him. It was the absolute, blatant, flagrant disrespect of my autonomy and my humanity, my abilities. Did he undermine to be entirely me? That's what made me hate him. Bolo, you waiting in Kifilankara? I need to correct the narrative over here. I need to correct the narrative. I need to correct the belief that I'm out here looking like Killer Frost from The Flash, trying to massacre anybody and I don't care. Just cause witchcraft is the scum of the earth type sin on earth that really nobody can come back from. I am not just some Killer Frost and Jeffela that hates witches. Y'all need to understand what it is that has brought me to a place of basically icy cold, couldn't care less what happens. Die dirty red, die grandshapang nandaba nawe. Whatever happens tomorrow with you, really nobody will miss it. The thing that's gotten me there with witches, like, please, can we have a conversation? Okay, I don't think I'm that itchy anymore. It's just the theft of autonomy, or at least the attempt at it. It is brazen, it is audacious, it is utterly disrespectful in the worst way. The reason I can't stand them out of any other single group of sinners on earth is because of their attempted theft of autonomy, of people's autonomy. Let us go on right ahead and get into a deep dive about sins, just generally, whatever sins it is that people can commit. Okay, let's think about murder. You know, let's in fact, where shall I find, should I go into, nah, I'm not, maybe I should, you know, nah, let's not do that.
Ah, no, let's do it. Lord, where is it though? I don't want to sing because every time I sing I cringe. When I listen to myself the next day, because of all of this witchcraft all over the show, I get depressed and I gotta start from scratch and encouraging myself. I have this like small little Bible. Where is it? It should be here somewhere. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, should I look for it there on the internet? I'm pretty sure this Bible is somewhere, you know. I live in this little pit of the abyss. Anyway, whatever, here it is. People have given me a life that's hell on earth. What's up? So I guess that's why you're going to a hell not on earth? But one way there is like smoking of torments rising up forever and ever. I think it's Exodus 10, right? So we said that we're gonna go grab some sins out here. So you can understand why I can't stand witches, how I have graduated to this point that I'm not just Killer Frost for nothing. I've become Killer Frost because of just the theft, or at least attempt at theft, of autonomy. What in the world? Where am I? Help me! Oh, or is it 20? Is it Exodus 20? Oh! Anyway, whatever, like what? Guys, you know, when it comes to the Bible, I was just so terrible. It is 20. You see, you halve people's lives until they think that 20 is 10, until they think that the 10 commandments are in Exodus 20. In Exodus 10. Alrighty, so let's like commence with the 10th commandment, the 10 commandments in Exodus 20. I guess we're gonna grab sins. So instead of just kind of picking them out of my finger and then like in the sky put in like, you know, a wind gauge to figure out what to talk about, let's just get them from the 10 commandments, okay? Righto, let's talk about all of these sins, alright? And help you understand why under heaven it is that I've become Killer Frost against witchcraft in particular, which somewhat falls within some of these, but it's like got a special new thing on its own. We're gonna discuss now. Let's talk about God spoke all these words saying, I am the Lord your God who brought you out from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. Okay. And then the Lord just goes in and grills these people about, you know, or Moses, that is, with the commandments. And he says, you shall have no other gods before me. Okay, so human individuals are here upon making a decision to become idolaters. Yeah, we're talking about sins that people do. And why under heaven it is that I can't just like absolutely with a voluminous girth just hate certain sinners versus others. I'm not the holy standard. I just want to explain to you my vantage point. What it is that is my pet peeve. So it's not the final authority, but I'm trying to help you understand what is up with my absolute vehement hatred of witchcraft and witches. I've already communicated at length what's going on over there in the past, but I feel as if though people are not giving me enough slack, but nobody gives me slack anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I shall nonetheless expand on the matter because of the fact that it's just what I do, and I'm bored over all the time, and I'm here to do the work of the Lord, so I guess this is how we keep ourselves intermetained. Alright, an idolater. Why do I not despise idolaters with every bone in my body? Because they're making a decision to go and, I don't know, lavu Satan. That's what they're doing. Like, yeah, they're out here digging themselves some Allah. They're out here loving themselves. You know, they're Joseph Smith or whatever. They're out here adoring their shoes and their cars and their money. Ugh. They're idolaters. In so adoring such a thing as that, are making that choice themselves. They're making that decision themselves. They no, come on, man. Don't give me this glitchy twitchy thing that you're doing.
How's it?
1 minute, sorry. Don't do that to me. It's just like it, man. My computer. It's like dying a slow death, like a dirty rat. It's like, die, dirty rat, die. Die like these witches. Except it's not really dying. I don't like witches. I'm sorry. We're gonna get to a point as to why that's the case. If you can't ride me out long enough as a witch because I don't like you, bye. That's how much I just don't care about them. But should you want to just kind of stick around for a minute, maybe you might be converted back to reality from whatever stance of nastiness you're in right now. Witchcraft is a form of idolatry, but it's got a special kind of nasty sting to it. Like I said, all other sins that are committed in the world somehow can fall into any of these commandments, right? So I'm just gonna go on right ahead and, like, you know, squeeze through the 10 commandments to help you understand why in their purest form I can still kind of chill and hang out with like such people as these, because, you know, Christ
Christ hung out with prostitutes and tax collectors, why it is that it is especially challenging for me, especially challenging to do that with witches. I'm gonna get to the point. So with idolatry, this is a person that you're trying to love Allah, do you? Whatever, he's not really God. Let's just put that out there, Hamas. Okay, yeah, you're going to hell. Like, suicide bomb yourself and then boo, Sheol, that's where you're going. Like, don't do it. However, should they make a decision to just go on right ahead and suicide bomb themselves anyway, somebody convinced them to do that in their own accord. They autonomously made a decision to adore a God that does not rescue. So go on, fly like a bird, man. It would be great if you chose life instead of death, because the Lord has put before you blessings and curses, life and death. Therefore choose life, but you're choosing death. So fly like a bird, fly like a bird into hell. But please, first, before you go there, understand that I try to snatch you out. That's what's good. So if you're gonna go suicide bombing yourself in the name of a God that doesn't save, like I said, down under, that's where you're going. However, autonomously did this man make a decision to sort of kind of sink into the abyss by himself. Let me save this because I'm disquieted by the speech lag. The content did save. Whatever under heaven. Okay, the power just left and came back there. Yeah, so idolatry, I can hang out any day with a Jehovah's Witness that's trying to make me see where she's coming from or he's coming from, and just kind of ride them out. Like, they're trying to convince me why I ought to convert to their religion. In other words, they're trying to make me change my mind because they recognize I have a mind. And so for those reasons, I can chill with you because at least you respect that I have a mind. Yeah. And with that mind, I shall, make a decision to just ignore the one you're trying to make me make. I will pass, basically. That's what I'm getting at. I'll pass. You know what? I'm very disquieted by all of the speech lagging. But, whatever. I don't even know what's happening. Maybe it's because... 1 minute. Is that what's going on over here? Like, I thoroughly don't understand. Why a little twitchy, strange, funny thing here? Don't be making choices for me that I don't quite appreciate. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So I mean, if you can respect my basic ability to autonomously make decisions for myself, then we can talk even though we don't agree. So don't mistake me for just blanketly just resenting anyone that's actually walking in sin. I'm a sinner saved by grace. I struggle with sin. Heck, I'm struggling with love right now, am I not? Hey, look at me be like the church in Ephesus. Yeah, because I literally can't stand witches to a point where it's kind of like, near on damning. It's near on me casting a stone, if you know what I mean. Like, Christ would tell me, he who has no sin, let him cast the first stone. Yeah, I'm out here like literally just trying to throw a stone or something. I can't stand them. I can't stand them in a way where I will even admit that I'm struggling with grace in that regard, and I'm struggling with mercy. I'm struggling with forgiveness. I am struggling with magnanimity. Hallelujah, the very thing that Jesus does in forgiving us all. Being in a position to put a gavel down and judge us into oblivion, he makes then a decision rather to just love us into eternity. I'm struggling with all that. Yeah, judge not lest ye be judged, etc, etc. But I'm about to help you understand why under heaven even that I'm there, okay? With witches, how I got there, how I graduated to that point. I'm trying to help you understand that it is not because of their practice of witchcraft that I am entirely agitated. It is just the theft of autonomy. That's just my thing. It's literally the attempt to convert human individuals into entire zombies that makes me nar. Okay, cool beans and bananas. And then the second one, there's you shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven or above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me. Ooh! And those who keep my commandments. So yeah, like all of y'all with your Buddha statues, all of y'all with your aquariums that you go to honor the whale, all of y'all with your sea devils, your city under the sea, your adoration of stones in the wilderness, your love of whatever carved images, like that statue, that grotesque menacing thing in the Nelson Mandela Square at Sandton City that you worship, called the Nelson Mandela idol. Yeah, all of those grotesque things, go on and bow down to them once you've been warned not to do such a thing as that with your carved images. Nah, that thing go Sandton Square. is an idol. It's not a monument in memory of Mandela, because the man is thoroughly worshipped in this country and abroad. Ubizwa utata. Why? Because there is only one Abba. He's above. Just putting that out there. He was not the best of men, but that's not today. A conversation we're going to have. It's another one for another day. I don't really care about South Africa and what's going on with it, so if you have bones to pick with me and stones to throw, do you? Because I'm throwing them back. Okay? So Angsas Bais get them to South Africa and its silly little history, where it is that they're trying to herald people that are not heraldable. Your adoration for Mandela and his Freemason thing has killed you as a nation. So too is your adoration for Credo Mutwa, who taught you to love Jesus and ancestors all at the same time. That went on right ahead and mixed Christianity with all different kinds of masonry. I don't like them, and I don't care that you've named streets after them. There were a whole bunch of idolaters and they're paying for it today. And because I no longer really care, since I have nothing to lose, to watch my words or be careful about what I say. Those who would want to throw stones at me for what I'm saying, I'm just like, throw them, because like I said, I'm throwing them back. Okay. So that menacing, grotesque statue at Sentence Square, Mandela, the Lord said don't do that, but since you insist to go on right ahead and worship a mere mortal, I mean, like, yo, that's your own thing that you're doing, you know, like you totally made a decision that, oh, I'm gonna do that today. You just woke up one day and was like, oh, I like me that idol, it's so nice and shiny, look at it go quing, and then you decided to go and honor it and like salivate after it and lick it and then call it God. Carry it into your household, make it a mini version, and then put it there on your kitchen counter as like an ornament. Like, do you? Okay? With your statues of grotesque fashion all over the show that you're like bowing down to, that can't blink, they can't even release a teardrop, they cannot bleed. When you pinch them, they don't go ouch, but like you out here ouching the Lord in heaven on high, whose heart is broken, that you're like worshipping it. Your call, okay? But that's just the thing. It's your call. You made it. So do you with your idol worship, and so far as you don't try and convince me for it, and if you do try to make me see where you're coming from, I'll still not give you too much grief, because like I said, we're having a discussion as two adults where it is that you're trying to convince me to adore, you know, a bronze statue, a wooden statue, an idol of sorts, and I'm just like, Nazi, I'll pass. And once I say I pass, you're like, oh, you're really hard to convince, but anyway, whatever. I'll come back tomorrow and knock on your door like a persistent Jehovah's Witness and see if maybe tomorrow you won't join my religion. But at least you've awarded me the opportunity to keep on saying no 10 times. Because you actually spoke with your actual mouth that I should convert to your kissing of statues. And I said no. At least you awarded me the respect to ask 10 times instead of insist that I be changed spiritually 10 times. Okay, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. I mean, like, what? It's so rough to watch Netflix, right? Thinking that you safe. That's what's good. Given that the show says that there's no foul language, the show has no sex, the show has, you know, basically it's like PG-13 for, like, you know, whatever. Like, it's a family show, never mind PG-13. And you watch it, and people just, like, throw the name of Jesus all up in there, and I'm like, hey, yo, that's language. Like, Papa, it's totally language. It's like, watch your language. Like, you don't get to use the words, the Lord's name, in vain like that, and it makes my ears, like, you know, needles kind of bursting in my eardrums, popping them. But then I don't go on right ahead and start to like loathe with a violent passion those people that are throwing the name of the Lord in vain. I am encircled by family members who easily just say Jesus, and no, not because they're praying. I am perpetually encircled by a planet of like in black culture, Jesus in Afrikaans, sorry, Jesus is yes. And black culture, we have inherited a lot of Afrikaans words and mixed them into our native lingo, atal, right? Yeah, atzotsital, whatever you want to call it. And so we, instead of saying yeses, we say yeses. So to say yeses is to say Jesus. Yeah, and I did that a lot as a kid because it was just like an expletive that you threw when you stubbed your toe on the corner of a bed. Until one day I woke up and realized that it's the name of Jesus. Like, I thought it was just like saying ish. Until I realized that, oh no, yes, skip Jesus. And so I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that every time I stubbed my toe against the corner of a bed. Now I say, ish, you know, or something. But my family members are always just throwing yeses around. Like, yeah, they're just always throwing it around. They're throwing it around like a soccer ball and just boo, boo, boo across walls. Yeah, you won't find me all of a sudden having killer frost desires for the end of life of my mom or my sisters or anyone at all in the room. The teller at the discam that, you know, is frustrated by scanning and it's not scanning and she's like, yes, this into young bora. I mean, yeah, it's rough, but I don't hate her. I don't develop an animosity within, because that is an autonomous choice that she is making to do that. And she might, or they might, try to convince me that, come on, Karabo, like, don't take things so seriously. And I'm like, I'm sorry, no, I'm gonna take God seriously. But if you want to do what you want to do you, even though you've been warned not to do it. If at all you continue in doing what you're doing, you've been warned. So it's not like I am unloving to not warn you. I've warned you that you're using the Lord's name in vain. And if we're gonna agree to disagree, then that's cool. But at least you have allowed me the autonomy to not just easily throw God's name around in the name of, come on, yeah, it's not that deep. Yeah, I still have my autonomy, so that's a sin that is not gonna cause me to be like, die, dirty rat, fall off a shelf, fall off a building, something, you know, just disappear. Alright, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. This one is especially taxing in my heart, for, you know, the body of Christ is, I believe, low-key just kind of like disregarding this, and I'm struggling to just move past it. I'm struggling to move past the fact that Christians aren't chilling on Sundays. I still don't understand why. On Saturdays, sorry. I still don't get that. I don't know, like, no one can ever... I've heard enough theories and stories being spoken all over the show, and I still don't understand it. You can worship God all week by all means, but I literally still do not understand why Christians don't chill on Saturday. They can make a decision still to do church on Sunday, but they would have to also chill on Saturday to truly honor God. Like, do absolutely nothing. Yeah. To a point where I'm trying to employ that with little effect, frankly, because I was raised in a culture where it is that the Sabbath was just low-key disregarded, like, entirely by the body of Christ. And like I said, it's a bone I gotta pick, but one that I'm not really sure what in the world to listen to, because those people who do observe the Sabbath that are Christians are very legalistic. They're too extreme, and they are basically writing off the whole of the body of Christ as lost. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, they are not. They cannot be. They are, what is this? You can't just write them off, for crying out loud. Like, there's something that they're missing, I agree, but you can't just write them off. So it is due to the exorbitant legalism of those that hold to the Sabbath in the Christian faith that I don't join them. But also, I am looking at everybody else and I'm like, okay, alright, I understand why you worship on Sundays. Apparently this has something to do with the fact that the apostles, the whole upper room event happened on a Sunday. I don't know, like, yo, I really cannot do the math. I would have to dig into the history, but I can't just ignore it. I can't just ignore it. Yeah, I can't just ignore it. But I do have issues with why it's being ignored. I really do, and there's nobody that's ever explained it to me in a way that gave me any satisfaction. Not John MacArthur, nobody has ever given me satisfaction concerning this. I feel like Christians are dropping the ball. I do feel that way, but I don't know. Like, I don't think they're condemned for it. Yeah, but I do believe they're not keeping the Sabbath holy. I really do. I really, really do. I do. And yeah, I'm not about to go and join the Seventh-day Adventist Church because they are full of heresy and full of legalism. Their doctrine is messed up like no man's business. I'll take a Baptist church any day before an SDA church. But somebody who is like somewhere in the middle there, they sort of kind of get it right. They respect the Sabbath. Yeah, I don't know anybody who is sound, fully, doctrinally, that is also, what is this, a Sabbath keeper. It's like the really good teachers out there are all Sunday, like, you know, teachers. Never mind Sunday teacher. Like, look, I don't even think going to church on Sunday is the issue. It's just the whole not keeping the Sabbath holy. You could do church on Wednesday. It doesn't matter. You could do church on Friday, Saturday, on Monday night. You know, it doesn't matter. Church can be done all week long. But the Sabbath gotta be kept holy. You don't gotta go and even gather with the saints. You know what I mean? On a Saturday, just do nothing. Like, switch off your cell phones like what they do in Israel. Like, relax. You, like, be leisurely. Go maybe to restaurants and eat, but do not labor. Don't do work. Yeah, type thing. Yeah, and you can keep your Sunday worship because, you know, it's a culture, it's a tradition that you've done. Your Sunday services and whatnot, but also keep the Sabbath holy. Seeing as nobody wants to move church worship to Saturday. Yeah. And besides, like, preaching and all that jazz is also the tantamount or the equivalent of working. So it makes sense that you should preach and everything maybe any other day other than Saturday. Because on Saturday, even the preaching is a form of working. Just chill. Like, do nothing. Just do nothing except max out and relax and chill in a hammock. But like I said, it's just the way that I feel, and in and of myself I am kind of messed up in that regard because I don't observe the Sabbath because it's my culture, it's what I grew up under, yeah, type thing. But with this whole keep the Sabbath holy thing, I made mention of how it is that I would never join the Seventh-day Adventist church because it's full of heresy. There's holes, their whole thing with LNG white, blah blah. Yeah, I've had an SDA, a couple of them, 2 or 3, try to, like, you know, bring me into their space, and I couldn't go there because apologetically they just did not make sense. They could not stand on the word, or they could not defend their doctrine in a way that I found satisfactory. So I did not go on and join them, but I still regarded them with favor, even though they were trying very hard to convince me because they respected my autonomy. They respected my autonomy to make a decision not to go out like that. And so for them it was like, we'll agree to disagree, see you next time, maybe next year I'll convince you. They got to a point where they acknowledged that they could convince me next year, but they haven't managed to convince me this year. But they have not gone out of their way to, you know, spiritually manipulate things in such a way so as to make me belong to their church. That then on that day is like some kind of a cult, and it's like, you know, I'm sorry, like, just pass away. Do that. Like, I don't care, you don't get in my mind. Like, don't get in my mind. Don't mind control me. Don't mind rape me into doing what you want me to do, because on that day, with people in the occult is the fact that they are mind rapists. I can't stand that. It is the theft of autonomy. Let's move on to, that's the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. But the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall do no work. You, your son, your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, your livestock, your sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth and the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Okay. And then 12, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land, and that the Lord your God is giving you. Okay, again, disrespect by children. I have been ransacked like no man's business by these rando babies all over the show that, thanks to my poverty, have treated me like trash. Like family members whose kids, my cousin's kids, yeah, have treated me like rubbish. One of their children, one kid of one time my nephew, my cousin's boy, once told me that if I want something, I was busy looking around for something, and he was like, if I want something I must go on the side of the street and beg. Yeah, because he looked at me as somebody that is impoverished and is basically a nobody, and so I should just go and stand on the side of the street, go chelete, because the whole family had so reviled me in front of children that they ended up disrespecting me. Ever since that day I have kept my distance from kids in the family because I don't want to get hurt by a disrespectful child. Yeah, that's what's good. So I don't liaise with children the way that I used to before. I'm not as open with them as I used to be, and I don't have an open door policy the way that I used to have with them. Now I'm just kind of standoffish where they're concerned, but that's only to protect my heart. However, I do not hate them. I never can. Anyway, they're kids. They are among my favorite people on the earth. I don't loathe their disrespect to a point of unforgiveness or a callousness within, like a killer frost vibe, where it is that I just feel like, yeah, but I'm mowa to the ground. Let the Lord take them to eternity. I don't care. I have never ever gotten to a level of callousness, like just a feelinglessness in my heart concerning the disrespect, concerning children that are disrespectful. I'm trying to help you understand the category of sinner here. Children that are disrespectful, I've never been so calloused against them that I would not bat an eyelid if they passed away. I'm there with witches. I literally am there. You need to understand how bad this thing is. Yeah, I'm trying to explain some things. What is happening with my computer? I am trying, maybe I should just restart it. Like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no, look, I'm trying to explain some stuff over here that people might understand or gauge rightly as they ought. Why under heaven? Kiliso. Why kiliso? You, like, it's the autonomy for me. You shall not murder. Okay, again, murderers. These are human individuals that take people's lives. Okay, and a murderer is a person that rocks up, takes a knife, you know, and it's like boom 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 in your heart and you're gone. Yeah, now imagine somebody murdering you, like murdering you. That's what's good. Through you. Imagine somebody murdering you
through your husband. Imagine somebody murdering you through an irresponsible driver in traffic. Imagine somebody murdering you through somebody else other than them. I can't stand witches. I hate them with a purple passion because they're cowards. And instead of them rocking up like a nice little Ted Bundy, how about you just make like Jack the Ripper and be honest with your dad, with your escapades in the world where you're going to be flying all over the show killing some people. Go on right ahead and award yourself with the status of Moses Sithole. Do that, dude, yeah. So that the police can look for you, know that it's you they're looking for, know that it's the smoke, the the smoking gun is yours. Like, you're, you know, the Jack the Ripper. Yeah, so let the police go look for you. But when you're sitting around in corporate South Africa as a freaking CEO, looking like a stellar citizen, with a body count of 20, people that you did not murder, but no, you made husbands drive knives into the wives of their hearts, into the hearts of their wives, sorry. You made children grab nooses and commit suicide. Like, yo, you caused you caused accidents on the side of the street. That's what's good. And so like some dude that would under normal circumstances be very alert when driving makes a decision to just, you know, take a phone call and type a text message driving at like 100 kilometers an hour in like, you know, broad daylight traffic, and just look at this like screen while going over a red light. A person that would never do something like that all of a sudden is doing it because the victim in the vehicle that is coming the opposite direction is the one that you put in a death spell. So you basically went and took away the autonomy of the irresponsible texting driver, when that's not generally what he does. And then he does it just that day because, you know, you did a death spell. Yeah, that's what is currently happening with me, by the way. Where it is that I'm out here, this woman trying to look forward to life abundant that was given me by Jesus, and people keep on sending me death spells. And it's like, okay, so if I'm not getting shot by a sniper, chilling perched on a roof, trying to unleash a live round in my skull, who then is going to bring about my death? If at all there's no aneurysm in my body, there's no heart attack. I guess what you're trying to achieve here is getting me to go like in the house, grab a couple of scarves and put them together, tie them, you know, and then just kind of perch them somewhere in a high structure, hang myself and let my family members find me, swinging left to right on a noose I made, yeah, like a pendulum, because you got to me. Like you literally went and raped my mind to kill myself. I hate them. I hate them. And the same people that have gone right ahead and committed this murder, because I told you guys that I've got this like whole cult in South Africa that's in KwaZulu-Natal, chilling there, yeah, from a distance, just kind of shooting dead women, yeah, having caused a whole gender-based violence issue in the country. They have sent me a whole bunch of death spells, and they keep going back to the drawing board. All they do is make me really macabre, depressed, alongside give me bad headaches until I have swallowed something like 5 grandpas in a day. Yeah, but like I never really kill myself, but I do feel very much like I want to die. And that is exactly what leads people who have no Holy Spirit to just go on right ahead and, you know, grab those scarves and tie them together and then put them around their necks and wait for their husbands to come home and find them dead. Yeah, and then the guy who did that is like out here properly being your boss. Like, ain't no police, no South African police forces walking and marching there. Yeah, with handcuffs on some, you have a right to remain silent. Everything, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You are under arrest for the murder of Karabo Hlongwane. Yeah, the chick is found hanging, suicide, that's what's good. But no police is coming in to arrest this guy because that's the reason why she killed herself. Like, there are boyfriends who are mad, angry, livid, verse, out here blowing steam out of their unfortunate heads. Yeah, at girlfriends who dump them and then they're like, I don't want to go to Sun City, I don't want to wear oranges or new black, I can't orange or stripy black and white. I'm not trying to look like a zebra for the rest of my life. So this is how I'm gonna avoid being a zebra. I'm gonna go and kill that chick without really killing that chick. I'm gonna do a death spell from a distance and then wait for a couple of days and see Daina Minaisa, my ex-girlfriend, just go on right ahead and, like, I don't know, die at the age of 32 from a heart attack. You just watch Diana get a stroke at 28. Watch Diana get hit by a bus even though she's a motorist. Yeah, because somehow Diana happened to be going to Home Affairs God Tuesday in downtown Joburg and Diana's gone. This guy's like, oh goodness, Diana died, my ex-girlfriend, how that sucks. Goes to the funeral when he's the one that did the death spell. They take away people's autonomy. They yeah, like that's why I hate that. Like, ain't nobody out here busting them for what they did. Ain't nobody. And I've been subjugated to the tyranny of their activity for a decade. So I mean, can you see where I'm coming from? Can you see how it is that it is potentially true that the Lord might give me grace over this, where it is that it's written in God's word that where sin abounds, grace abounds evermore? Those of you who grab Romans 7 out of context in order to justify your incredible incendiary sins that you are unprepared to repent from, that you have got all self-control under heaven in order to eradicate, but you're not doing it. Yeah, Romans 7 I don't believe applies to people like those who just go on right ahead, fornicate as much as you want and then be like, God, I'm sorry, sinner's prayer, and then get into heaven anyway because your sin abounded, so grace abounded in him evermore. I believe that Romans 7 applies to people like me who are having a really hard time doing a holy thing because they literally cannot for the life of them with any level of continued prosperity maintain holiness in the midst of so much wickedness that they can't help but just kind of break out into the hives of sin. It is written in Psalm 125 that if the wicked are endured through a random rubbish for like just a season perpetual without ever it stopping, they might be inclined towards iniquity. Let me just go ahead and find the actual scripture that you might not gauge me as one who is making stuff up. Psalm 125. We're not going to read it all, just the portion where it speaks about what happens when the righteous are just left in the felugio sogola. That's what's good. For the scepter, this is Psalm 125:3. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. So when then the scepter of the wicked is stretched out against the righteous for such a long amount of time by attrition that they might just literally burst out into the hives of doing wrong, I do believe that the Lord then in his grace and mercy by Romans 7 standards will abound grace in such a case as that. It is not that I'm unforgiving, it is that I'm having a difficult time maintaining forgiveness because people keep on afflicting me with the same rubbish, and like I said, they're doing it in a very patronizing fashion where they absolutely where they absolutely refuse to cease hostilities against their victims by gaslighting. They gaslight people, they pretend they're not doing what they're doing, they act a violent fool, a flagrant fool in the presence of their victims and act as if though they did nothing. And the sad thing as well about their activities of acting like they did nothing is that the world sees absolutely nothing they've done as well. So they've basically got time and space in their favor. They have got nature working for them, since most people are less inclined to pay attention more to the spirit than to physical outward things happening right here. Ne? Yeah, so they've got time and space working in their favor when you're busy accusing them of uptagati all over the show. You're gonna look like the nutcase, you're gonna look like a psychiatric freaking patient, you're gonna look like you need to be checked into some stray suit at some Sterkfontein-like hospital and just kind of stay there because you keep on accusing everybody, including the stellar citizen, the boss guy. I mean, he's your freaking CEO, for crying out loud. How in the world is he your killer? How under heaven are you going to accuse your chief executive officer of trying to kill you by suicide? You look crazy. I hate them for that purpose because they not only take away autonomy, but they make people look crazy when they're actually sober. And on top of that, in and of themselves, they look really good. It is just the flagrant be-all and end-all of a perpetrator that proliferates injustice all the way up until the Great White Throne Judgment. Witches literally get away with murder until the Great White Throne Judgment, whereas murderers can actually get found wanting by an investigative process embarked upon by, prosecutorial people in society. You know, the justice system can out here dust for fingerprints and find the fingerprints of a killer and so apprehend the rando. But witchcraft is the kind of stuff that people go to their graves having never gotten justice for. So ha ke re ke ba tloile ka pelo le moya ke a le ka tlhaloganya gore ke tswa kae, and hape ke a le ka tlhaloganya gore ke believe very strongly ka pelo le moya wa minaisa gore modimo nna o ntshwarela for this indiscretion on my part, because grace is abounding due to Psalm 125 being applicable. The scepter of the wicked is being stretched out all up in my growth for way too long for me to not incline towards evil. It's literally that intense. I'm struggling to not throw the stone. I'm struggling to, turn the other cheek, because these people don't even think I need a cheek to turn. They're slapping me in the freaking spirit, like they're slapping me in the sky. Here in Laza slap wa, you've got a red
like, what do you call this thing? You've got like a whole red hand. Like when I live blue eye, little red hand. It's clear that you've been slapped, but like you don't see where the slap came from. It's proper like Casper the Ghost slap, except it's not so friendly. It's more like Freddy Krueger. Some invisible thing has slapped you. It has slapped you. Are we born? And you can't identify that Tamba. Tamba. And then God gives you a dream that is Tamba. And then you say, Tamba, why'd you slap me, bugger? You full of gender-based violence. I thought you were bigger than that. And then Tamba's like, what are you talking about? And then Tamba gets the whole school standing for him. Tamba gets the whole office all up in his side. Tamba gets HR in the office to vote against you. Tamba gets your case thrown out of court for crying out loud. Then, I mean, what are you going to do on that day other than hate Tamba? Proper, your only justice is hatred of Tamba. The best defense is just offending him by Tamba, you're probably not gonna get any affections from me, even though everybody else think you're the baddest dude in the game. Why? Because and you're slapping everybody. But accuser, everybody believes you and not them. Everybody believes you and not them. So Abantu that God is going to show what under heaven it is that you done did. With a purple hatred. That's why from here to Timbuktu. Because how na crying justice against these people. Nobody gets justice until Great White Throne Judgment, and unfortunately for some that's just too far. Why is it too far for some people to wait for the Great White Throne Judgment? Because some people die outside of Christ. The Great White Throne Judgment is only excellent, a day to wait for, to finally get your day in court if you're Christian. If you are lost, it means nothing, guys. It literally means absolutely nothing for you. To finally find out at the final judgment that Tamba did slap you in the spirit usabone, and that your accusation of him, your suspicion was right. Why? Because now, any minute now, the books are going to be opened, and your name is not going to be found written in the books, in the Lamb's book of life. And so you're also going to be judged for things that you did, whether or not you were a witch. So first Tamba goes, and then Tamba gets told by God, depart from me, work of iniquity, I never knew you, and gets thrown into hellfire. And now it's your turn. And after your books have been read, after all your sins have been tabulated, then you also then get told, depart from me, work of iniquity, I never knew you. That's why this is such a travesty. Because some people go to hell despite having been killed by witches. There are people who get put in car accidents that never knew God by death spells done by witches. And these people are going to get their day in court. The Lord is going to kill their murderers. In hellfire for eternity, they will die a second death, but so too will they. They have been taken to eternity prematurely. They could not give their lives to Jesus. Tamba is going to go to hellfire, but so too are his victims. That's the bone I gotta pick with these people. Babora, I hate them because of the fact that they are sending so many people to hell. And they are turning so many people to witchcraft. I told you, witchcraft begets witchcraft. They are turning so many people to witchcraft that instead of turning to the Lord, these people are turning to sangomas and piling on themselves heaps upon heaps and upon heaps of which, of what do you call this thing? Of sins. Sins of which are going to get them condemned because they've not been propitiated for. They've not been covered. They've not been cleansed by the blood into like perfect snow. They've not been cleansed by Jesus. And so ubulalwa in a car accident by a demonic ritual will indeed give you justice, girla. It will give you justice, boya. Whoever you are, you will finally get your day in court. But on the same court date, there's also your sentencing. Same court date, you are also going to be told, depart from Jesus. You passed away from gang rape. That's what's good. A gang rape and murder. And then you still go to hell. You still go to hell. That's why I cannot stand Baloi. Because people just perish, Joe, at their hands. They just drop like flies. Like all of my enemies have put me in a position to basically face death. I've nearly died. That's where it is that I find myself right now. And I would have died and gone to heaven because I'm a child of God. And so the Great White Throne Judgment would have done me great. It would have been excellent. I mean, it would have been hard for me to wait. I would have had an issue with patience to wait until the final day. But at least when I got there, the books of all my enemies would be open and read. And then they would be cast into eternity of condemnation, devastation, eternal torment. But I would be told, my good and faithful servant, well done, you've entered in. You actually are judging all of the nations of the world with me. This is your day in court. So much so do Christians get justice against the wicked that we even have hellfire proper as a tourist destination for all of eternity. We're going to get to gaze upon their dying bodies as they're busy being burned forever and ever and ever. That's what is written in God's word. Yeah, you can go and look that up. Go and look it up. Yeah. So I stand to benefit, but why do I resent them here on earth, even though I stand to gain from their condemnation ultimately? it is because of the fact that right here on earth they've made my life a living nightmare, and they are also perpetually trying to take away my autonomy due to the fact that they have succeeded at taking away so many other people's autonomy. Their track record in succeeding to take away people's autonomy makes them think they can do the same thing with Christians, so they are especially experimental with Christians. They are especially persistent with Christians, because their spells fail on us, and upon them failing on us they keep trying, and when they keep trying, that means that we are perpetually being beaten as like a pinata by them over and over and over again, all in an attempt to succeed to do that which they did to other people. And even though they keep on failing, they keep on trying, because they think one day I might get to her, because guess what, I got to all of that other trail of cadavers. All of those other 10 people, they did what I wanted them to do ultimately, so Karabo is just a matter of time. She's just a little bit strong. It's why I can't stand them. Let's move to the next part.